everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher, and today I'm going to be demonstrating the Palestrina knot. The Palestrina knot, I find, is best stitched in one of the heavier threads, such as an eleganza number 5 or even number 3, one of the soft pearl cottons, and I like to stitch the Palestrina knot fairly close together. They make lovely stems. They also are terrific accenting an applique piece. I will show the Palestrina knot used in a variety of different threads so that you can see the different looks that you can achieve with it. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and let's stitch together. I really like doing the Palestrina knot in a 3. Go ahead and use my chenille number 18 needle. So I'm going to come up my thread. I'm going to take a little stitch not too far from where I came up. One of the things I really love about the Palestrina knot is how it looks when you do your knots close together. And that's really what I prefer. I'm now going to come in to this stitch that I just did. I'm going to pull that through. Now with the thread up held like this, I'm going to put my needle right in here. It's like a cross, and I'm going to put my needle in between with my thread looped up like this, my needle over the thread, and I'm going to pull, and that's my Palestrina knot. Now, I'm going to come just a little ways away, it's not very far, for my next little stitch. I'm going to go into that stitch. I'm going to do put my thread above. I'm going to anchor it with my right hand, and I'm going to go into that. See how it crosses? I'm going right in between the two. Do you see? I'm going to take my little stitch here, or Sue says, a little bite. Of course, it sounds better with Sue's South African accent. And then I go under like this. Right here is where I'm going to go, right in there. I'm going to go through, up through, and go in here. I don't know if you're noticing, but I switched and I'm using the back of my needle because it doesn't catch anything. It's also a habit. This is something Sue also taught. So I'm going to go right in there through that. Is my Palestrina knot. If I want to have a Palestrina stitch with what's called legs, or I guess it's also called a long-armed Palestrina knot, I can take a larger stitch across, and I'll show you what that looks like. It's a very different stitch, but I'm going to go all the way across like that, pull my thread. I'm not going to pull this top. I'm going to leave it sort of like that. I'm going to go in just as I would before, anchor my thread, come through here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this. If you have something like this, cutting it on an angle makes it easier to thread. Okay. So let's say I'm still using my other thread and I ran out, and so now I'm going to come up. And I'm going to come up right where my thread went in. Take my little stitch. I'm going to go under. I'm going to come in between those where it crosses. Take another little bite there. Go under. Go between the two. Just going to do a couple of these so you can see the difference. It's not as thick as the eleganza number 3. But it's lovely in its own special way. So that's my very velvet. Okay, I'm going to keep going as though, let's just pretend it was all the same thread and you needed to knot it, end it. Someone said to me to be sure that I showed how to end a thread, because obviously even the best of us, we can't always know when our thread's going to run out, and sometimes it's right in the middle of our stitch. So what does that look like then? So there's my Aurora, which just has this little shimmer. You can see how close these knots are, though. I mean, I'm really making them close. There it is, the Aurora. I'll do one more. I'm going to end it. I was at a workshop at Madeline Island, which, oh my gosh, if you haven't been to a workshop of Sue's at Madeline Island, you have to try to go, because there's so much fun, and Madeline Island is such a beautiful place. In any case, there were a whole group of us, and someone had done something in the shepherd silk, and I had never really paid much attention to shepherd silk, and so I said, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. So I ran over to the table, because Sue brings all these different things for people to buy, all different threads, and I bought a bunch of shepherd silk. And so then I started showing other people, and then they were doing things with it, and it sort of caught on. It became the coveted thread, and suddenly Sue was completely wiped out of her shepherd silk stash. And my friend Patty found the last of the shepherd silk in pond scum, which is this fabulous color. And she said, look what I found. And I went, oh my God. And I ran over. And I thought she was buying it for herself. And she said, no, I'm saving it for you. Just so excited. So this is shepherd silk. It stitches I have yet to do a stitch with shepherd silk that I didn't love. Sometimes when I can't see, I just sort of push it aside with my needle and hold the other part with my thumb. So there it is. Isn't that pretty? I'll finish my stem up. This is a wacky looking stem, but that's okay. So again, I'm going to put my thread coming right out, and you don't notice. I mean, it all sort of blends together. I take my little bite there, pull my needle through. That's my soft cotton. It's called Pearl Cotton number 3. I'm going to go ahead and do a stem coming off of this one. This can be done in a silk ribbon. You could do this in a seagrass. You could do this in gimp. You can really do this stitch in anything that strikes you. I'm teaching myself how to do right-handed as well, so I thought I would just show those of you who wanted to see the Palestrina knot done with your right hand. So I've got my needle here. It's going to be very much the same. I think the only difference is how I'm holding the fabric. I'm going to take my stitch here like this. I'm going to come back around. I'm going to put my needle up through that stitch. I'm still going to get that little cross right there. I'm going to come around with my needle through the cross. Make sure that this thread is under the needle and pull it through. And that's the right-handed Palestrina knot. I can do it one more time. You take your little stitch here. I tend to take a smallish. I don't pick up a lot of fabric here, just a little bit. I'm going to pull my thread through. I'm going to come up from below. I'm going to make sure that my thread goes around this way, and I'm going to come up with the needle and go right through, making sure that that thread is underneath my needle when I pull it through. And there it is. You really can't tell which hand I used for what. It's going to be the exact same stitch. This part was done with the right hand. This part was done with the left. I hope you found this interesting and helpful. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I love hearing from you, so leave any comments or questions you might have down below. Thanks so much for watching, and here's to stitching together.